Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Adventures with Andi. Today we're going to see if we can use these to make some art. These are washcloths that I use for cleaning my paintbrushes off when I'm doing watercolors or wiping up dye when I'm dyeing yarn, and didn't think to bring up a yarn mop. And I'm pretty sure at least one or two of these is from when I have refilled fountain pens and wipe things off or clean fountain pens, wipe things off to get the ink off. I could just toss these in the wash, but the colors on some of these are just so pretty that I wanted to see if we could transfer it to some watercolor paper and make some art out of it. And look how pretty that is. So I've got some watercolor sheets. Got a huge block of it if I need some more. And I've got some craft tape. This is just like a paper tape that you wet to activate the adhesive to use to tape down my watercolor paper to the desk for stretching the paper. And then we're just going to lay these cloths over the top of it and see if it'll pick up any of the pigment. It may not pick up any, it could pick up some. And then when it's done, we'll see if we want to add some more watercolor to it or ink, draw some things, but we'll just see how it turns out. Just see what we end up with. All right, so let's get going. The paper I'm using today is Canson XL because that's just what I happen to have. In the interest of full disclosure, I have never stretched watercolor paper before because normally when I'm painting watercolors, I'm using something like this, a sketchbook. I just like to take them with me. Instead of taking a camera when I go on trips or out and about or whatever, I just take a sketchbook with me and sketch things out, and then I come back home and tape it down with painter's tape, which keeps it from curling and wrinkling and stuff. So does a pretty good job of it. So I've never been in a position of having the need to stretch a sheet of watercolor paper. So this is definitely going to be an adventure for me. I've watched videos online. Hopefully I do a good job. So I've got my craft paper here. Sorry, my craft tape. I keep calling it craft paper. It's not craft paper, it's craft tape. Now, everything I saw, people were not pre-cutting their tape strips. Just for ease of use and less stress, I'm going to go ahead and pre-cut them. Because that's just kind of how I am. Artistic mise en place, I suppose. And of course, as always, if you have done this before and you know a better or easier way to do this than what I'm doing, drop me a comment below. You know me, I always like to learn, and I'm not afraid to admit when I was wrong. So, because how else are you supposed to learn, right? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and set these over here to the side for now. And I've got a tub of water over here. This is just plain tap water. And I'm just going to, oh, this is a tight fit. I'm going to have to go the other way. Put the paper through just like that. Lay it down. And I'm actually going to steal one of these cloths that's got less stuff on it. To just, well, that actually has something on it. Lightly wipe this down into place. wipe up the excess. So I'm going to need the, no, not that one. I want one that's got like almost nothing on it. Okay, and now I'm just going to dip that in there. Which reminds me of old school stamps where you had to lick them. Yeah, showing my age, aren't I? Okay, and then just put this down right here. So there we go. Now, apparently normally if I was going to be painting a painting on this, I would just wait for it to dry. But that's not what we're doing. I want this to be wet. It's drying really fast though, but that's okay. Chad picked me up a new spray bottle. This one actually works, theoretically. This way for first usage. Yes, it works. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray this down because I want it to be really good and wet. Yarn fuzz. Yarn fuzz and cat hair. Two things you apparently can knock it away from in my house. It's okay. I love both of them. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the cat hair. And just lay this on here. And I'm trying to get the parts that have lots of color to be the parts that are on the paper. We're getting a little bit of color coming off, so that's good. That's really good. And I'm going to go ahead and spritz down the cloth as well. Okay, I say spritz, I'm heavily wetting this cloth down. Just to help loosen up that food coloring that's on there. All right, now I'm just gonna let this sit for a little bit to give it plenty of time to transfer over to the paper. All right, this has been sitting here for a while. Let's take a look and see what we got. We got a little bit of color transfer. Obviously I want more. It doesn't seem like the red's really transferring much. But we're getting quite a bit with the blue and the green. There's a little bit of the red. So I'm gonna try, well, first I'm gonna spritz this down some more because it's basically dry at this point. I'm gonna try crunching this up like this to see if I can get more of that blue on there. And I'm gonna take some of these others that have the blue as well and do the same with them, just in different places, wherever. This one I'm going to go ahead and wet down itself. Maybe see if we can get some of this pink. This is really different from either just painting with watercolor or dyeing yarn with food coloring. It's just completely different. And I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. That's kind of exciting and cool. But I like that we do get some color transfer. It's really, really pale, really faint. And I honestly don't know if letting this sit does anything. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, I don't know. First time trying, so why not? I also really wish I could remember which one of these I used when I was changing ink in fountain pens. Because then I know it definitely transfers some color over. All right, I'm gonna let this sit for a while again. Leave it alone for a bit, come back, take everything off, see how it looks. I am definitely gonna use this one on it. All of these washcloths, by the way, are cotton. So they wouldn't, food coloring would stain it, wouldn't dye it, as we know. Which is why I'm hoping to get some of this color out of here. So, and this one is definitely cotton. I remember this is an old one. All right, I'm gonna let this sit for a while, see what happens. All right, this has been sitting here long enough for me to have dinner and watch a movie. These are still a little damp though, but let's take a look and see what we got. Oh, look at that color. We got a little bit over here too. A bit of pink here. And we got some more of the blue here. Hopefully that's not from the paper. I don't think it is. So we're starting to get some color on here. It's pretty cool. I had a flash of inspiration though. We know that this color is not going to set to these washcloths because they're not a protein fiber. They're not wool or even nylon. They're cotton. So the best it could do is stain it. And when we wash these, this color would just come right out. So I thought, well, what if I put some dishwashing liquid in the water? Would that help the color come off of here and onto there? I don't know. Could completely screw everything up, or it might work. Only way to figure it out is to try. Got some suds. Let's see what happens. Not really getting anything. Let's try wetting this. If nothing else, my desk is going to be really clean around here. Getting a little bit of color maybe. Not really too much. I don't know, it may just be that just like with yarn, to get the color to come off, we just have to wet everything and wait. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of color on there. It's really, really faint. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna use this one because it's got just a whole lot of color in it. Use this one, maybe use this one some more, I don't know. Not sure how much more I'm gonna be able to get out of this one. But I'm just gonna soak this all down again, use these, and I guess let it sit overnight probably. Not really seeing a lot of bubbles, but there's bubbles in here I know, so I wonder if maybe I need some more dishwashing liquid. I don't really think it's gonna hurt to put more in. I mean, This is all just a trial and error experiment anyway. Might as well try, right? We got a little bit of color. Put that under right there. I'm finding the key is to make sure that the spots that have the most saturated color on the cloth are the ones to put up against the paper. Well, it's a little bit late. I'm probably going to call it a night. I will come back, take a look at this in the morning. Good morning. I've had breakfast, I've had my coffee, and I'm ready to see if we got any more color on our paper. Now, I'll admit, I peeked a little on the edges when I first got it up, but I haven't taken these off, so I don't know. So let's take a look and see. Take this one off first. We get a little bit. It's really picking up on this craft tape really nicely. Don't know that we really got anything with this one, but there was this one on top of it, so we got some there. And like, seriously, this craft tape is loving this color. Check that out. We really got some nice color with this. Wow. How awesome is that? I love this. It's not as saturated as I was expecting, but yeah, we definitely got some color in here. And I'm trying to decide if I can see something in here. Because when I get enough color that I can start seeing an image in it, then yeah, I think I do. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry, and then I'll come back with a pen and sketch out a scene on this, working with the colors that we've got on the paper. And these can now just go in the wash, I think. I don't know that there's enough that we'd be able to pick up off of it to do a second one. So